Hey there, besties. We got to talk. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about Ocasio-Cortez, where she went and she asked her followers or the people that are in her community or whatever about why they voted for Trump, if they voted for her, blah, blah, blah. Well, she took her talents to the Joy Reid show. So unfortunately, we got to listen to Joy Reid for a moment while they have this conversation. And then I will react to it. And then I will read some of the comments because as per usual, it seems to me that they just aren't getting it still, and it's always Trump bad, and they didn't do anything wrong. But let me go ahead and let them speak, and then y'all go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new.
And while the Democratic Party is still reeling from the results, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is doing something a lot of the DC folks aren't doing, which is talking to social media and actually talking to voters to figure out why this happened.
If you voted for Donald Trump and me, or if you voted for Donald Trump and voted Democratic down ballot, I would really love to hear from you. This is not a place of judgment. I'm not gonna like put your stuff on blast or anything like that or dunk on it. That's like genuinely not the intent here. I actually want to learn from you. I want to hear what you were thinking, and I just want to hear from you.
Joining me now is the aforementioned Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Okay, AOC, what'd they say?
I mean, there's a lot of different things that we saw. I think there's a lot of people. First of all, it's important to note that Democrats, oftentimes when we lose elections, we think that we lost people to Trump. And that is true in circumstances, but they don't look enough at the fact that we also lost people to the couch. Mm-hmm. We have two people that we're running against. So a lot of people say, this is why I voted for you and Trump. And some people say this is why I didn't vote or didn't vote top of the ticket.
Right. Skip the top of the ticket, which, by the way, there's been a lot of paranoia about the fact that Democrats were able to win statewide in some places while Kamala Harris lost. And I keep trying to tell people there are voters who go in and either just vote the top, Trump voters who say, I just want Trump and don't care about Republicans, and the reverse, who say, I'm not voting top of the ticket, but I'll vote everybody else.
Do you think that maybe Joy could let her guest speak and get her own thought out before she has to jump in there and say what she has to say? Because she always act like she needs to correct someone. Ma'am, let the woman speak and get out what she needs to get out. And I do notice that Ocasio is seemingly being very careful of the words that she chooses, but we see that Joy just goes full force. This is what I say, typical, child, typical.
Right. And I think we saw some of that happen as well. But when it comes to people who split their ticket, I think a lot of people cited several different things. One is there is universal frustration in this country. Much of it, I actually think, justified. That is raging at a political establishment that centers corporate interests, billionaires, and puts their needs ahead of the needs of working Americans. And we know that we can either channel this righteous rage, because there are people whose SNAP was cut off, their child tax credits were cut off, but they're seeing people like Elon Musk getting tax breaks and kissing up to Donald Trump in order to do so.
But they vote for them. Why vote for Elon Musk and Donald Trump?
Ma'am, if their stuff got cut off, their SNAP and whatever the heck else she named, that means that it got cut off under Biden and Cam. That's why they would vote for them. Hello? Am I missing something? So you think that if they're looking at the corporate interest right now, that the billionaires are getting paid? Is that not right now under Joe Biden? I don't even think that this is accurate, what Ocasio is saying, but we're going to go ahead and go for it. If it's happening under Biden, that's why they would not choose him and Cam. Duh, this is not rocket science, but maybe I'm wrong, child. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I think that, of course, is the question.
It makes no sense.
And I think part of it has to do with the fact that, and I think we're still in a process of going through the data. It's important to say that.
Yes.
And I actually think that it's important to say that the people who are rushing to say, let me give you my grand theory of what's going on right now.
The problem is you went too woke. Sorry, Kamala Harris was running with Liz Cheney at her side. She wasn't going quote unquote woke.
If we had an election on...
One sec. Democracy's calling. See you, Daddy. Bye. Hi, my name is Cooper, and this is a day in my life as a White House intern.
We did a joke. Hey everyone, vote.
Usually I start off with a big coffee. Sorry, they're like really strict in here.
Hey Jenny, I booked you a nail appointment, love.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that.
It's called Initiative.
Hi, White House, this is Cooper. I don't think so. Oh, doesn't matter.
This is actually the entrance to the West Wing. This is so fun and it's really prestigious.
Hey, POTUS. Is Olivia Rodrigo still here?
No. We've come a long way in our fight against this virus. We've vaccinated 160 million Americans. Are you getting this all down?
Don't worry, Queen. It's all right here.
Cooper.
Sorry, Miss Jen. And Jen, don't forget to have fun. Spirit fingers, Mama. We need to get shots in the arms of every single American.
I'm heading to a haircut.
Comment if you want me to make more of these.
November 5th and November 6th, you've got an answer.
Right.
Don't listen to those people.
I agreed.
Do not listen to those people.
Co-sign.
So
Okay, so keep listening to the same people, keep listening to the same things. Don't listen to what your daggone constituents are saying, the people that didn't vote for you. Listen to yourselves, child. Y'all continue to just sit here and listen to each other. This will be the same thing in 4 years. And again, J.D. Vance will be president.
I want to say that we should all have the humility of saying this is an ongoing learning process. However, there is something to be said about it doesn't matter that he's lying. He's saying that I'm fighting for you. In all of this debate that people are talking about with this woke thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's because we care about trans people and that's why.
And by the way, only Donald Trump cared about trans people because he was the one running $130 million worth of ads. The Harris campaign said nothing about this issue.
That's right. That's right. And listen, the ads, it's not to even deny the fact that these ads were effective in certain areas. What I think people are paying too much attention to is the first half of that ad, which says Kamala Harris is for they, them. Everyone's focusing on that. They're not focusing on the second half of that ad, where he said, Donald Trump is for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And Democrats very often, in their messaging, they speak in terms and in concepts and not in the second person. I care about you. And political races are not about one candidate versus another candidate. Too often it gets pigeonholed like that. It is a race to convince a person about who cares about you more.
That's a part of the problem with so many people in America is that they need someone to care about them. Why do you need someone to care about you so much? Why can't you care about yourself? Especially if you think that the government cares about you. I don't care if it's Republican or daggone Democrat in the daggone office. And don't you love how they can always, Trump bad, and talk about the rich people, but aren't these people rich? We haven't talked about it and got into it, but I'm going to keep mentioning Nancy Pelosi, child. She's still getting hand over fist and nobody want to talk about that. They try to make themselves act like they're holier than thou compared to Republicans, and they are not. And they don't want to acknowledge that. And that's why they're going to continue to lose.
Let me ask you this question, because we've been talking a lot about RFK Jr. My mind is a bit blown. I mean, we knew that Donald Trump would go wild. There's no constraints on him. He could just put all his friends in. But we're talking about RFK Jr. and the possibility of people pulling back on measles vaccines, on another pandemic happening. You're talking about Matt Gaetz. There's a 17-year-old girl out there terrified that all of her records, all of the witnesses against him in this case where she was trafficked could be in the hands of Matt Gaetz, and he could be the most powerful law enforcement official in the country in a case where the president of the United States is an adjudicated sexual abuser. If you're a sexual assault survivor, you're thinking, oh my God, this country is out to get me. They're out to get me and force me to have children by sexual assault. So the message to women has been insane, okay? And the people he's nominating are TV hosts, etc. Do you think the people who voted for him that you've talked to were expecting this?
No.
Metro issued a felony warrant on December 8th for Sam Brinton. Brinton's charged for grand larceny with a value between $1,500 and $5,000. The 35-year-old works for the Office of Nuclear Energy. According to the warrant, a woman who had traveled from Dulles International Airport outside Washington, D.C. to Harry Reid on July 6th couldn't find her luggage. She filed a police report on the 10th. Police identified Brinton as the suspect after seeing a news report about a luggage theft at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport on September 16th.
No.
or true mass deportation.
Genuinely,
yeah,
no. And it's heartbreaking, actually. It is heartbreaking. And people may want to take like a kind of vengeful stance about this, but it is genuinely heartbreaking.
Women, I tell you, and I'm a woman, shout out to you too, but I'm confused as to why they bothered, or why she bothered to go to listen to anyone in order to allow Joy Reid to refute anything that anyone said, basically call them names. They don't know what they're talking about. Now they're allegedly regretting their decision. Well, guess what? It is what it is. There's nothing that can be done about it at this point. But if y'all think that you're going to take the lead, without a better way to just say it, y'all not talking like this. You're still insulting people. You're still taking no accountability. You're basically saying that Trump is bad. You've learned nothing at this point. Continue on with this path. But let me go ahead and read some of these comments and I'm done with this. Critical thinking is totally missing. This just doesn't make sense. DT told us exactly what he was going to do. Ocasio and I guess Joy Reid are out here trying to act like the people who are suffering with no place to live, being kicked out, rent is too high, eggs is high, milk is high. That's all Donald Trump's fault somehow in some way. But you're giving all this money to migrants, and now you want to give illegal migrants, asylum seekers, but you still are trying to give them empathy and sympathy in front of the people who have been suffering. And Donald Trump was clear on the fact that he was going to go and do deportation while Joe continued to allow Cam allowed the migrants to come in here and didn't do a daggone thing and then try to lie. Ocasio and Joy Reid don't want to mention that part. Just ignore all that and just say Trump bad, Trump bad. They're using the same exact tactics that got them to this place that people ain't even watching MSNBC and CNN any longer. They about to get reduction in pays. They about to get laid off. They still talking the same sugar, honey, iced tea. I swear, you just cannot teach the unteachable. They cannot see anything. How are you ever going to get better or do anything better if you refuse to see where you made any mistakes? You refuse to listen to the exact people that are telling you what the problems are, and then you're going to turn around and insult the same daggone people. Anyway. Next comment says, this is not an honest conversation. Until we can have an honest conversation, nothing will happen. I live in Arizona. People voted for Trump, but not for Kari Lake. Harris, BS. Harris said daily how she cared for and would represent all people. I am over people making excuses for bad behavior. We need to call it out. Build with more reliable voters. Next one says, I am not rich, and the idea that Trump only benefit the rich is preposterous. I work, and so does my wife. Democrat presidents have never benefited cost of living or my wallet. If I was on welfare, I could see the appeal for Biden-Harris. Thank you so much for saying this, sir. The economy under Trump was drastically different, and we were able to save much more. That is why most people voted for Trump. I can't understand how these women can sit here, hold these conversations, hear what it is that they're saying, and then turn around and say that it's Trump's fault. What is Biden and Cam's responsibility? That's what I want to know. They basically sat here and said, we want to give everything away, and we see that Cam is not very good with money, or else she wouldn't be $20 million in debt after getting over $1 billion daggone dollars. Next comment says, more than half of America heard what they wanted to hear. Next one says, this has nothing to do with ads or the campaigns. This is about the fact that the people are gullible enough to just nod along and not educate themselves. I don't disagree with that. Next one says, Cam told voters literally, I pledge to be the president for all Americans. She used you a lot. Okay. People aren't going to tell you the real reason. I don't buy that people were too busy with work to know what's going on. I agree. That part with her talking about you got kids, you got to work, you got to do this, and you can't read the paper. None of us read the paper. Ain't no damn papers out here. All of us go onto the internet. We all got a phone. We all got time. Everybody always on their phone. So for her to say that, child, take that shit back to the 80s. We ain't falling for that. The next one says, I like AOC, but this is disingenuous. I read all the responses she posted to her questions. No one said that Democrats cared more about corporations. Exactly. She full of it. That's always been her stance. If you're going to go on TV and talk about why people split their tickets, why not give their real responses? Because she's still trying to make it be, it's not Cam's fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. Let me do a couple more. So they think Trump will give them their snap back. Really? Exactly. That's crazy. Exactly. You lost your snap under Biden-Harris. So do y'all really think that what's about to happen is that the Trump administration and Republicans are about to increase your snap and give you your food stamps and your welfare back? Next one says they are literally brainwashed. Next one says, they just made it worse for all of us. I blame them for my future misery and that of my clients. I am a nurse. I already work 2 jobs and can't survive. Next one says, Cam also emphasized about right, tax reduction, affordable housing, reducing inflation, GUN safety. She talked about all that. Trump literally said Cam is for they, them, and that's it. Well, shout out to the 2 videos that I have in here, which straight up are from the Biden administration. Now, listen, ABCDs, I ain't got no problems with you, no way, no how. But what we not going to do is sit up here and act like woke wasn't a thing and that everybody's included and everybody gets everything, blah, 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 blah. No. And the fact that Joy Reid is going to sit up here and co-sign all that, knowing daggone well that the Black people ain't gotten what they wanted, what they requested, or anything such, and still try to say that y'all did the wrong thing. How come she ain't up here talking about reparations or the Black crime bill or whatever it is that y'all was looking for Black people? She ain't talking about that. She's still over here, Will Ocasio, who I think is Hispanic, talking about getting stuff for the asylum seekers who have come into whose neighborhood now? Who is coming taking resources from who, for the most part, disproportionately affected? Yeah, these are the people that y'all want to continue to listen to them, child, and never wonder why you are where you are, instead of, like someone said in one of these comments, to do your own daggone research and to get outside of CNN and MSNBC, and honestly, at the end of the day, Fox News. Go to more independent persons who can at least take an objective look at things and try to look at things outside of the freaking blogs and things of that nature and celebrities. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. I'll see you all in the next one.
They know better than to feed me anything because I do not care.